All right, today we're gonna fire up the Ooni Karu. We had this bad boy about a couple of weeks ago unboxed and everything, but the problem is we didn't have anything to put it on. So we got a stainless steel work table from Restaurant Depot so we can put him on there. And today we're ready to fire him up. So we're gonna use a variety of fuels and see how hot can we get this guy. They claim it can get pretty hot, but we wanna do it ourselves. So join us as we do a first firing up of our Ooni Karu. All right, this is the top part of our work table. This thing is about 2 feet wide, if you want to say that, deep, whatever, and it's about 4 feet long. The Ooni is maybe 2.5 feet long or so. With the Ooni pushed back, we got a little bit of room here. So a 3-foot table might be just a little short. So I got a little area I can work with, right? We can have a pizza down here, load them in, take them out, put them here. So this actually works out pretty good. So this is a 4-foot table. 5 foot would get you even more room. So what we're going to do today is we're going to play with a variety of fuels, right? We're not playing with propane or natural gas today. We're using some real wood, right? This is just some chunk apple wood that you get at any big box store or even a local hardware store. So we're using hardwoods. Any fruit or nut tree will work. We also have the remnants of my neighbor's cherry tree. And I cut some of these to fit the Ooni. So that was a little bit of fun, right? And the tools you can use are loppers, right? Because those are so fun. Or the smaller version. Or if you're so inclined, use a hatchet, right? Or a bigger brother of it. Gloves are always helpful, right? And then last but not least, we're going to use some lump charcoal. And we'll be busting some of this stuff out in a moment. So this area right here is the pizza stone, you know, and it eats up quite a bit of this.
You're going to want to flip this over, Ben.
We can.
Because one of the things they've seen on the forums is that because of that logo, the burning burns into that logo, so a lot of people flip it, so it's not as bad.
All right, this pizza oven this pizza stone goes from roughly an inch or so from the front here, pretty close to the back. There's a little area in the back for fuel. So this thing is quite big. It eats up the bulk of this. And with the airflow coming up here for this chimney, if you can see my hand and stuff, the whole airflow comes all the way to the front, and then it goes up the chimney. So our goal today is to get the stone hot, and we're going to be reading it with this infrared temperature probe thing. So let's the fun begin. So the fuel area is down in here, and this of course is our little cover for it. But the fuel actually goes in here, with the ashes falling through there, and then where my hand is, we have airflow. Airflow comes up through the bottom of this Ooni deflector area, to the sides a little bit, but more importantly, it goes through there, up. And this is what creates airflow that eventually goes towards the front of the guy. So let's go ahead and put this guy inside. He has to go through the front. So now he's in there, as we can see. So now we're ready to get some fuel ready for this guy. Yeehaw! All right, we're going to be using lump charcoal. Lump charcoal differs from the normal briquettes that most people use to because it's basically hardwood that's been charred, and it can be any shape, right? It can be something like that. It can be an actual twig. Sometimes hardwood flooring makes it into these things. It just has to be some sort of hardwood, usually oak or something. We're using it because it is one of the recommended fuels for this. We're not using propane or gas because that takes a special adapter, and they're out of stock for a long time on that. Besides, we like burning things up, so we're going to have a good old time, right? Plus, this gives a smoky taste. So basically, like any chimney, I've already got some paper down here in the bottom. We're going to be putting some of the stuff in here. I'll probably put a few more a few more chunks in here. So that way we have a good amount ready. All right. My goal is not necessarily to light up a full chimney, because as we know, that little guy can't handle that much. But he can handle some, right? So that's what we're doing. So we'll go ahead and light them up here. Got a little wind going today. And for fire safety purposes, we do have a hose nearby. We do got a 5-gallon bucket of water. So just in case sparks get going too crazy, we're prepared. Other safety things are heat resistant gloves, tongs, all kinds of stuff you can do. So once this stuff is good and hot, we'll be back. All right, we got a little flameage going in here. And we're actually up to 1,034 degrees. Whoops, overheat. This guy doesn't go too far beyond 1,000 degrees. So that tells me this can get warm. The question is, what can it do in the uni, right? Since 1,000 degrees is pretty warm, we have to be a little on the safe side, right? You gotta think smart here. So we got some gloves on. We got some metal tongs going. So let's go ahead and open up that guy. And yeehaw! You always gotta be prepared for that. I mean, we could pour these guys in here, right?
That would be bad.
But I'm not one. I mean, if you're in the middle of like a driveway or something, you know, nothing but concrete, why not, right? But since this is my deck here, and I want to limit the fire chances here, Amy's concerned about charcoal impact. My concern is normally when I'm doing charcoal for the Weber, I like to let it, you know, ash over for the most part, and maybe throw a few new briquettes in there, keep the party going. With this, I want some red stuff. In fact, here, it looks like we're under control now, so. You ready, boo? You're gonna live once. All right, we're gonna get some unlit stuff going, because it's all about heat and keeping a fire going. Ultimately, flames are hotter than just smoldering coals, which is partially why my temperature probe was pegging out past 1,000 degrees. We're somewhere between 800 degrees and overheating. So we still got some heat in there, boo-boo. So some of these coals are crazy. So I'll just leave it at that. All right, I got an 865 before the OH hit again. So I think we got a little heat in there. What we are gonna do, yeah, we do have a little bit of fire going on down there, so that's good. So we did make sure that the vent for the chimney is open, the damper is open, so we should have airflow going through there. We're gonna go ahead and put this guy on there, but I'm gonna put a couple of unlit guys in there, just so we have some fun. No, that's gonna be another test. Amy is asking, am I gonna put some wood in here? Of course I am. We're gonna test wood, right? We're gonna test the twigs, which is cherry tree, and we're gonna test some apple wood chunks, which is another hardwood. Any hardwood will work in this bad boy. You want hardwood as opposed to softwoods, because hardwoods usually produce more heat. Softwoods produce heat, of course, but they usually have like a resin in them, like pine, and you just don't want that in your food, let alone gunking up the inside of this guy. Hardwoods generally burn cleaner. They generally produce less ash. It's just a better. Now, in terms of hardwood lump charcoal, the reason why you want that over your typical briquettes is because briquettes are pressed. They're not a natural product. It might be sawdust, it might be other stuff with binders. So they produce a lot of ash, and then ash just clogs things up, right? We want minimal ash in here. We want heat, fire, flame, and less ash because we don't have a ton of room for that. So let's get this bad boy on here. We're gonna let this warm up for 10 or 15 minutes, and then we'll see how our pizza stone goes, because this thing needs time to warm up. In fact, if I just do a temp on just the outside here, 88 degrees, boo, really? That's not much.
Yeah, what is on the inside versus the outside?
Well, that's question. Well, this is quite warm up here. So since it's warm up here on the top of the chimney, oh, he's 106 degrees. Okay, we're getting there. What happens is the uni is quite heavy, right? Now, a lot of it is the pizza stone, but still, it takes a while for metal to warm up, right? We're not talking anodized aluminum, paper thin that might take 5 seconds. We're talking metal. That's why it takes a while to warm this puppy up. But I do see some exhaust coming out the top, which is good. And, I don't know, 86 degrees. The other problem is stainless steel doesn't work with infrared very well. I've done that a lot with cookware. Stainless steel cookware looks like it's only 200 degrees, and then as soon as you put your oil in there, blows up. Well, the door is 95 degrees, allegedly. I think it's warmer than that, I'm gonna tell you that. Amy wants to open up the inside, see what it's showing. Yeah, the stone's like 308 degrees. 327, 401. All right, Amy wants to see the inside of this bad boy, right? Because I'm hitting this chimney, and it's like 100 degrees. The back area, it's like 100 degrees. But inside this bad boy, I'm getting like 345. We're gonna go back further. We're getting like 400 degrees. We're gonna check the other side on the far side. 381 near the front. It's only 316. Over here, it's only 310. So basically, we're in the low 300s in this area, and we're in the 400s further back, closer to the heat source, which is common why you need to spin the pizza quite frequently, let alone spin it at all, because it's uneven heating. And it makes sense. We have the chimney in the front to draw the heat this way. And if you do have wood and you've got massive flames, you might have flames coming across the top. And that's a good thing, right? We're all about heat. But it's this chimney near the front that's drawing it, or else the front really wouldn't have as much heat as it does. So we're gonna check back on this in a little bit once the pizza stone has a chance to warm up. And we're gonna see, can lump charcoal by itself get this guy in the 800-900 degree area that the uni is capable of? And then after that, we'll test our other wood fuel sources. As you can see, the lump charcoal is ashed over. We got a little bit of red flames way down the bottom here. I've been getting readings anywhere upper 900s to overheating, which is more than 1,000 degrees. So it's definitely doing a good job here. For the Ooni Karu, it says don't put a lot of fuel in there, but put a little bit at a time. That way you get maximum airflow. Maximum airflow means maximum temperature. So if you overfill that, you reduce the airflow. You might even have fuel that's not hot, like unheated wood, unheated charcoal, and then you're not at optimal. Right now, we're relatively optimal. I might have a little too much in there, but it is hot. Let's see what the front looks like. All right, let's go ahead and take some temperatures here now that this thing's been running for over 20 minutes. The front is about 500 degrees, 509, 511. The middle of the thing is closer to 630. The far right corner is at 660. The far other side is about 699. The middle of the very back is about 650, 670. And then of course the metal, this thing is only reading the metal at 700, 1,000. Ah, geez, this is pretty hot. I don't know the accuracy of the infrared. Maybe if we had a cooking thermometer that could go up to 1,000. Because part of this is about heat reflecting off surfaces. Stainless, not so good as maybe the brick is. But this baby is hot. Is it 1,000 degrees? I don't know. But I'm thinking if we were going to cook something, I'd give it a shot, wouldn't you, Boo?
Sure.
I'm open for that. It's not as hot. So let's do our next test, which is we're going to use some wood chunks. So this is for our second test here. This is going to be some apple wood. So this is large. This is called a wood chunk. You can get this stuff at your box stores, home improvement, or even hardware stores. This stuff here, you could argue, this is just a bark. You could say this is more like chips, but this is just a smaller part in the bag. You get different sizes. So we're going to use some of the chips just to kind of start the fire a little bit, and then we'll throw in some of the bigger chunks. Okay, we have some remnants from some the lump charcoal earlier. So this is just some ashes, but we're still in the 600 degree range, which means I can still use this to ignite the wood. So let's just go ahead and throw some of these little guys in here. They should catch with no problem, and then once they flame up, they'll catch the bigger guys. One thing to keep in mind is we don't want to overfill this, obviously, and you do want, ooh, getting a little bit of smoke, and you do want to keep, for flames, right? Flames produce a lot of heat. Where just low and slow red doesn't really do a whole lot. It produces heat, but not a tons. So this stuff will catch on fire. That will produce instant heat, go into here, and the pizza stone will probably warm up quite a bit at that point. What we're going to do here is let this ignite, which will probably take a few moments, and then we'll throw these chunks on there. All right, we got some flames like what I said we were going to do. The Ooni manual says to start slow and then increase your fuel. So as you can see, we have a little bit and we got flames. That's a good thing, right? So I'm going to go ahead and put in, I don't know, medium chunk right there. And then let's close this up. You want to say anything, Boo Boo?
We got the fire going in there.
Now that's a fire. The back of the area where the fuel is, where all the fire is solidly flames. The wood chunks are all engulfed. They're having a party. We got a lot of smoke coming out the smokestack. And as you can see from the front, this is why you want to rotate your pizza pretty quickly, right, Boo Boo?
Yeah.
Because it's going to get kind of warm back there. That said, we got about 400 degrees, low 400s, 399, 388, depends on where I'm hitting this thing. In the front, the middle is registering in the mid 500s, towards the back, upper 500s. So this is our first firing of this. So obviously we're just kind of learning this for our first time here, right? Some people are saying that the pizza stone won't get to 900, that it might get to 400 or 500, and that's typically what it is. And it might be because the bulk of the heat rises, right? So it's going to be, you know, up in this area, not low down in this area. But that said, the pizza stone has varied tonight based on how long we leave the front on to keep the cold air out, how much flame we have, how little flame we have. So we have seen the stone get up to 600 degrees. We've yet to see 800 or 900 on it. Surrounding parts have got up to 1,000, but the stone itself maxed out in the back so far around 600 and change. Right now we're in the mid 500s. We're gonna give this a little bit more time. We're gonna put the front back on and we're gonna see if we can get the stone higher temp. All right, I think we got some good flames here. Do you concur, boo-boo?
Yeah.
All right, so I keep opening this door because I'm greedy. We've got 552, 573, and 510 in the front. In the middle, I got 652, 698, and 652. And then towards the back corner, I got 641, 689, and 620. My hand is getting hot. The metal itself is registering 683, which is kind of odd. And then, of course, back there, and then back in that area, we got about 1,000 something. So the bottom line is, realistically, you're looking at about 700 degrees, 650-ish in the middle. And towards the front, we're in the upper 500s. In the back, believe it or not, is just under 700. Yeah, my finger's burning.
I think you could burn off a pizza for that.
So are we to our magic 800 or 900 degrees? Not yet, but we got one more test, boo.
Look at that smoke coming out the Ooni. Ew.
Okay, as you can see, we got good flame coming across the top. A second ago, I think it was a little bit better, but just in a moment's time, these fires can go up and down. That's why I think wood chunks, or more importantly, wood chips, do a better job. Lots of surface area for big flames. Chunks, not so much. I've had this open now, but we're close to 600. We're in the 580, 560. Probably need to shut this one. 7, oh geez, that was 9, I gotta get this, it's way hot. 948 in the middle, towards the back, on the stone. 1,015 was the highest. 1,009 was the highest. Right now 950. This here is 810, 840. 897 was the highest. Right dead spot, 816 was the highest.
Pull the gun out, you're gonna melt the...
Oh, Amy's all worried I'm gonna melt this thing. I think it can tolerate it. It's tack life. 697 is about as high as we're getting here near the front. So not quite 700. 616, 639 over there. Towards the back there, 1,037 was the highest. 811 over there, kind of in the middle towards the back.
You're gonna cook your thing here, boo.
Well, 850. So we're realistically getting temperatures in the 800-900 areas near the back and in the middle. Near the front, it is substantially cooler in the mid 600s. Whoa. Got a little flameage out the back. This is what I'm using right now. In fact, let's go ahead and shut this guy since he's kind of emitting a little heat there. This is cherry wood. My neighbor's tree died a few years ago, and this is adequately dried. This is a winner. Stuff is diameter of about your finger. The cherry won today because it produced the most flames. Had I had more apple chips, maybe it would have done better. Big pieces don't produce as big of flames, even though it lasts longer. It's just not strong enough. You need big flames to go across the ceiling of the oven, and that's what cooks the middle of your food. If you have a pizza or you have sandwiches, they're going to be raw in the middle because you don't have enough flames to heat to cook in the middle. You will cook the edges, but not the middle. It's that important.
So, pizza fans, if you would like to join us on our journey to learn how to use this Ooni Karu to make some fantastic pizza, hit that subscribe button below and the bell so you'll get notified of our uploads. Also, check me out in my Facebook page, facebook.com/groups/Amy Learns to Cook. You can also catch me on other social media platforms as Amy Learns to Cook, Pinterest and Twitter. And also, a little different, you can catch me on Instagram at Cookin' with Amy. Have a great day, and it's time to make some pizza.